Thank you for auditing the Always Positive New Music Review Show, hosted by a French professor. Ooh, I'm just getting silly with it. I'm just having fun today. I've had this idea for a little while. You know, I did my top 5 MCs of all time. But rap, you know, it's a competitive art. It's an art that moves a lot. So I thought, let's do the G.O.R.N. Who is the greatest MC right now? Who is the greatest of right now? Now, my top 5 MCs of all time, none of them are on this list I'm going to provide to you. The top 5 G.O.R.Ns are not the same things as the top 5 GOATs. And I think that's a thing worth appreciating and loving about rap music and about hip-hop. Because, like, this list was hard. I made some choices that are going to annoy you. I made some choices that are going to delight you. It's a very interesting thought experiment, and it really shows how strong rap is right now. And despite the fact we might feel we're in some sort of decline, I can tell you just by doing this list, we are really not. Now allow me to show you the different categories. Not really categories, but these are the things I'm considering. Number 1 is active and productive. So I'm talking about active rappers, not in retirement, not in semi-retirement. They have to have released within the last year or about to release in this year. Okay? That's why none of my top 5 GOATs are here. I love Rakim, but I don't think he's releasing anything soon. That also speaks to their sort of vitality and importance. Artistry and skill, that is a part of it. Now that might be bars, that might be rhymes and flow and voice and breath control, but not necessarily. I'm interested in intellectual and emotional stimulation. And sometimes that comes through things that are very smart and very well thought out, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay? I'm going to try to do my best to have a proper balance between the sort of the mind and the heart and the booty, you know? Star power and charisma, I think that's an important thing. Hey, I love Tupac, right? But come on. Tupac would not be on everyone's list if he was not such a star with so much charisma, you know? That does matter. That is part of what makes an MC great. Heat and influence, that's not just how hot are they, like in the sense of are they popular right now, but like on their peers. So a lot of these rappers are going to be underground. How influential are they on their fellow members of the underground, or just how much sort of impact do they have? Beat choice, I think, is a super underrated thing. You know, I mean, all these rappers, I'm presuming they choose their own beats, and that really shows a lot of their strength. And then finally, anticipation. Like, how much do I anticipate their next project? That's a serious reason why I'm interested in this, because how much I anticipate their next project tells me something about, like, the quality of their music right now. Does that make sense? Because it's like, if I heard Rakim was coming out with an album, I wouldn't be that excited, you know, but if it was 1988, right? And of course, this all goes down to my personal taste. So you might disagree with me completely, you might think I'm a schmuck, you might say I'm just some guy on the internet. Congratulations, you figured me out. I'm just some guy on the internet. I do have a doctorate in French, in French, so congratulations to me. I do have a mildly successful YouTube channel where I talk a lot about rap music, and I have listened to a lot of rap music, and I do think about it, and I do teach a class on rap music. So, but beyond that, I'm just some guy. So if I'm annoyed, if you're annoyed, feel free to put that in the comments. If you're annoyed at my little misspeaking, there's nothing you can do about it. I don't edit my videos. What do you can go watch other people who like edit every 5 seconds, and like in between sentences, they change cameras and cut. That's not me. I just let it ride. So there are 3 categories of rappers who won't even make it on this list, okay? 1, not recent enough, but would probably be on it. I'll mention them later. 2, should make it, but there's just not enough space. And then 3, they would make it, but my blind spot. You know, if an artist hasn't released a major product that I've studied in the last 5 years, I basically don't know the artist. Schoolboy Q is the perfect example. I'd never listened to him. The album that he released last week is like the best album I've heard, and I'm now like scrambling trying to figure out, wait, is he like the best, is he the best MC alive right now? But realistically, I can't say that because I just know the one album, okay? So there's my caveats. There are at least 3 rappers whose names I won't even say, not even on the consideration list. But it will absolutely shock you that I'm not saying their names. Feel free to tell me in the comments when you have not heard their names at the end of this video. If you like this video, AVAA is how you say that you like my videos and comments, and I will heart every AVAA comment. It stands for awesome videos always. Smash the like button, subscribe. You know what? I used to say don't do the bell because I don't like the bell, but actually I do a lot of like live premieres, and I'm usually in the chat on live premieres. So maybe you want to have that and you want to chat with me, ask me questions, go for it. Especially on this one, you can just throw hate at me the entire thing. How dare you not put this person number 5, right? So. And as always, I'm sponsored. I'm sponsored by Don't Bet on Sports. The world is trying to get you to lose money. Save your money, okay? It's a crooked game, and it's class warfare against you. Use promo code Skye when you go and not gamble. Because when you don't gamble, you keep so much money. All right, so number 5. I'm going to go 5 to 2, all my honorable mentions, and then number 1. The 5th greatest rapper of all right now is Nas. Listen, he didn't make my list of best of all time, and Nas fans and I have a long, contentious relationship together, and they probably will be so mad that he's not number 1 that I might as well have just not had him on the list, but in my opinion, I think he deserves to be here. When it comes to artistry and skill, how active he is, maybe not the heat. Great beat choice, obviously just working with Hit Boy, but there came a time, where just, even when I wasn't looking forward to his albums, they'd come out and they'd just be so damn good and just so wonderful and just really showing that you can be an older rapper who is not the hottest rapper in the world while still making great content. Number 4, Ice Spice. I'm not joking. I swear to God, I'm not trying to troll Nas fans by putting Ice Spice ahead of Nas. Let me tell you why, okay? I don't think Ice Spice is a better rapper. I don't think Ice Spice, most of those things that turn to artistry and skill, okay? But when it comes to like this influence and the heat, I really think Ice Spice is doing some really interesting things. I really liked her EP. I like her most recent single. I like her attitude. I like her sort of flippancy. I like the way that she's using social media so properly. I like the way that she really represents so much of what is happening now in the culture with young people that is so freaking alienating to me. It's so alienating to me, but I can recognize that it is, in fact, not only is it the fart, it is the shit. And I cannot wait for her album. That was the main thing. Anticipation, I cannot wait for Y2K. I cannot wait to see what she does. Okay, so 5 Nas, 4 Ice Spice. The 3rd greatest of right now is mach-hommy. Mach-hommy is a fascinating case because he releases so many EPs, and the last couple ones have not been up to the standard of the previous ones. But he's coming out with a proper full-length album. So Rich Ass Haitians, I went on the stupid website and I bought the version of it that's whatever, $100 or whatever it is. I couldn't stop myself. His artistry, his flow, his inventiveness, he's taken the abstract quality of rap music, its ability to bend language, to its absolute extreme while also managing to say something. And I just cannot wait for his next album. And I cannot but just be amazed at all the projects that I've reviewed over the past 5 years, just how consistently good. And especially it's with beat selection, and I think he really deserves a lot of credit because he has his pick, basically, of all the underground producers. And it just seems like he can get the best out of everyone. I mean, just like a Nicholas Craven beat is always good, but with Mach, it's like one step above. And that goes down the entire list of all those producers. By the way, tell me in the comments if you'd like me to do a G.O.R.N of producers. Would Nicholas Craven make it onto the top 5? Yes. Oh, speaking of Canadians, I should mention this is a list of American, or at least English-speaking rappers only. So please know that it's not that I think that there aren't great rappers who don't rap in English. You know I do. I just don't consider myself enough of an expert to include them or not include them on the list. So they're just excluded from the whole thing. Okay, so the 5 greatest rappers of right now: Nas, Ice Spice, mach-hommy. Number 2 is Playboi Carti. Now, if you were mad at me for Nas, and if you were happy with Nas, mad at Ice Spice, mad at mach-hommy, happy with mach-hommy, mad at Playboi Carti, it makes sense. But this is part of why I wanted to do this list. If I have any real value on this platform, and I hope I do, it's not just my intellectual acumen, which I know helps. I recognize that I bring a level of discourse to a lot of stuff that other people don't. I know that's great. But as far as like my personal taste, I will not ever get out of the moment where I will never let hip-hop just be underground, ever. I will never let it do that. I will never kill it like that. The second that we say that the only good rap music is in the underground, and I've been hearing people say that since 1994, okay? That's how long I've been hearing people say that the only good rap is the underground stuff. It is just a disservice to the art. It is a competitive art, which means that success is a metric of quality, unlike any other art. And beyond that, it's just short-sighted. And what Playboi Carti is doing, it may be hard for you to differentiate him and other people in his lane, but his creativity, his bizarreness, his beat selection, his star power and charisma, his artistry and skill, which is so hidden underneath. Like, his artistry and skill is almost in seeming like he is lacking artistry and skill. Does that make sense? He is so good at it. And when I'm thinking about albums that I'm looking forward to, rap albums I'm looking forward to, I guess I could have put mach-hommy 2 and Playboi Carti 3. I'll keep it like this, but it's very similar. Like, I'd say I'm equally excited for those two projects. And to me, nothing could better illustrate the strength and the health of this wonderful art that we all love called rap music. That they're both going to be so damn good. I just can't wait. This is so great. All right, before I get to number one, the greatest of right now, here's a list of some who should have made it, but there's just not enough space. Lil Yachty really should have made it. Doing lots of interesting creative stuff. Always interesting beat selection. Conway the Machine. He probably would have been 2 if I'd done this a couple years ago. I've been a little bit disappointed in the quality of his rhymes, which are the things that I go to for him over the past couple of years. Maybe he's doing too much, I don't know, but he's still one of the best. Megan Thee Stallion, I really look forward to her new stuff too. I think she's coming out lots of great music. Aesop Rock, very close to being on there as well. Lil Sims as well, very close to being on this list. There's so much. RXK Nephew, I'm just learning about his music now, but he has a singular voice. Jid, how did Jid not make it on there? My whole list is invalid. Jid is insane. He's like doing some of him and J. Cole, who's also not number one, are showing that it's really possible to be rappity rappers while also being cool with like the mainstream. Danny Brown's not on this list. That's insane. That last album showed so much growth and he's such an individual voice. Earl Sweatshirt's not on this list. I know you're mad. Rap Ferreira's not on this list. Neither of the guys from RTJ are on this list. Travis Scott is not on this list. Shay Noir, who I just look forward to everything she releases. I don't review everything because I don't have something new to say every time. But Shay Noir is one of the most interesting discographies of the past couple years. She just keeps on coming out with great, interesting rap albums. She's not on this list. Neither is Ransom, who I really enjoy. Boldy James, Ka, so many of these underground rappers, even mainstream rappers, are doing all these great things, and I'm not talking, they didn't make the list. Some are just not active enough right now, but would probably be on it. By that I mean they haven't released an album in the last calendar year or aren't releasing in the next year. So we're talking Kendrick Lamar. We're talking Baby Keems for that matter. We're talking Future. I would say Future should be on there. Tyler, the Creator. The deluxe edition doesn't count. Lupe Fiasco and Denzel Curry. How are they not the greatest of right now? You trying to tell me that Lupe Fiasco comes out with an album and I'm not there Friday night at midnight trying to figure it out? You're telling me Denzel Curry is eventually going to follow up, melt my eyes, and I'm not going to just explode with joy thinking about, is he going to maintain the level that he achieved with the last one, or is he going to go past it? Do you get the point of this list? It's not actually about who's the best. It's about how great is everything. Then there's only 2 for the would probably make it, but my blind spot. Previously mentioned Schoolboy Q and Rock Marcy. Someone left a comment in my comment section where I asked about this. They just said, "You don't know enough about Rock Marcy, so it's totally invalid. Study up." Fair enough. So who's number one? I wonder if you can guess. I wonder. There's a lot of people who I haven't mentioned, okay? A lot of people I haven't mentioned. I'm only going to say one more name. So think about all those names I didn't mention. Whew. And him? Oh. And her? Oh. And him? What? Number one. I'm going to write it right here on the G.O.R.N. right here. Number one. And it's really not even that close based on the last couple years. It's got to be Billy Woods. Now listen, as far as heat goes, I understand he's an underground rapper and not everybody knows his work, but his influence is great. But when it comes to his activity and his productivity and his artistry and skill, Ethiops, Maps, We Buy diabetic test strips, and now Doves. And I'm considering Doves to be a fucking album, okay? That is an album. I don't care if it's an 8-minute song. That is an album. That is how good that song is, okay? I use the F word. I barely ever use the F word in this. That's how good Doves is. He is just, and I know, he's working with Lucid, and that's great, and he's working with Kenny Siegel, and they're great too. And all the people that he worked with is all great, and that's great. I'm not saying they don't deserve credit as well. But he is just on another level in terms of the beauty and the richness of his rhymes, the intellectual stimulation that I get is very high, and the emotional reaction that I get is very high. And his flow just seems to be getting better. His beat selection seems to be getting better. He's just moving in all these different directions. I think, I mean, unless you just don't like Billy Woods, which is fair, right? Like, opinions are opinions, right? So if that's your take. But if you like Billy Woods, how is he not the greatest right now? You know? I mean, that run. And you know he's going to come out with 3 more albums this year, probably. And again, it's personal bias, you know, because he raps a lot about fatherhood, which I can relate to. And he raps a lot about sort of international politics, which interests me, national politics, which interests me. And he's sort of a smarty pants guy, and I'm kind of a smarty pants guy. But still, that's where I'd put it. So there's my G.O.R.N. That is my greatest of right now. And please tell me, according to these criteria I'm giving here, okay? According to this criteria here, who would you say is your G.O.R.N? These are my Patreons. They give me money so that I can buy music and stuff. This is kind of a weird episode. Just so you know, this week and next week, this week is my son's spring break and next week is my spring break. So I'm going to be a little bit less consistent than I normally am with the 3 videos of the 3 albums a week. I might just do goofy stuff like this, or randomly talk about how Kanye chose neo-Nazis to be on a song and no one's talking about it. You know, I might end up doing that kind of stuff. So, anyways, I had fun with this. I'm just having fun with it. If you disagree with me, you can tell me. You can tell me. But until next time, there's the camera.